The cameras flashed. The show had been over for 7 years, but the controversy, it just never really ended.
Never.
And every time Dancing with the Stars season 27 came up, it was like reopening an old wound. Then, in November of 2025, the winner of maybe the most contested trophy in reality TV history makes this definitive symbolic move. He shipped the trophy right back.
Welcome to Starscope Report. Today, we are diving deep into that massive public feud between radio personality Bobby Bones and the DWTS establishment. We're going to answer the question that just lit up social media. Why on earth did Bobby Bones give back the Mirrorball?
Join us as we uncover Hollywood drama, music industry shakeups, and viral pop culture controversies. From red carpet surprises to social media meltdowns, we dive deep into the stories behind the fame.
Okay, so let's just unpack this whole thing. The immediate trigger for Bones returning his trophy. It wasn't some slow build.
No.
It was a very specific, almost minor comment. A direct jab, really, from DWTS icon Tom Bergeron in a November 2025 interview.
And that one little moment just provided the pressure release for, 7 years of frustration?
Exactly. 7 years.
So to really understand the volcanic reaction to that one comment, we have to go back. We have to look at the original event, the 2018 victory.
Right. Bobby Bones wins season 27, and he wins despite what the judges, clearly saw as a pretty poor performance.
Yeah.
And to his credit, he was honest about it.
Yeah, she was.
He admitted he got low scores throughout the majority of the competition, and he even said, point blank, I was not the best dancer.
So he was a total outsider, but he had this secret weapon that the other, the established dancers and Hollywood types, they just didn't have.
He had a massive, mobilized fan base from this huge country radio show.
Yeah.
And he didn't just ask them for votes. He, activated a whole cultural demographic.
An army.
A huge audience that saw him as the underdog fighting the Hollywood establishment.
But I mean, isn't that part of the reality TV game? If you have a huge following, you use it. So why was this win so, institutionally offensive?
Because the show, at its core, is supposed to be about danceability.
Judged by experts.
Judged by experts.
Yeah.
When Bones won, he basically proved that the voting public could completely invalidate the judge's professional authority.
Huh.
The system was kind of exposed in that moment.
Okay, so fast forward to 2025. Bergeron is in an interview with Parade, and they ask him about the most shocking elimination.
And here's where it gets really interesting. Bergeron, he pivots. He consciously redirects the question away from an elimination to target a win.
Which Bones definitely noticed. He pointed that out in his reaction video. He said Bergeron flipped it to give me as the answer, even though the question wasn't about him.
Right, and the quote, which is now, out there forever, it just sums up the entire institutional view in one word. Bergeron said, "The thing that shocked me the most was a win. Bobby Bones." That was the one I went, Bobby Bones was the first time I got it. It was like, ouch.
Ouch. That one word coming from the patriarch of the show, it just cut so deep.
Oh, yeah.
Bones even said the pain was not because of what was said, but because of who said it. This was Tom Bergeron, the face of the program, someone he really admired.
So when the criticism came from him, it just carried the weight of the entire establishment. It confirmed his worst fear.
That the win was seen as illegitimate, not just by some pros or judges, but by the figurehead himself. Bergeron's ouch was the institutional rejection personified.
If you're loving these Hollywood twists, you have to make sure you're subscribed. We've got even crazier stories ahead, including how Bones complicated his own story by confessing to cheating.
Oh, yeah, we're definitely getting to that. But first, let's look at how the institution itself responded to him in the years after 2018.
The Bones described the negativity, the hate he kept getting with this really painful analogy. He said he felt like a 6th grader and all the 9th grade dancing kids are shoving me in lockers.
Wow.
That feeling of just being a perpetual outsider, that's what led to the trophy becoming this, toxic object.
And the DWTS establishment absolutely did react to that 2018 win. I mean, the level of fan outrage from the core audience was so big that the show was basically forced to change the rules.
They had to.
Yeah.
They had to make sure the judge's authority could never be completely steamrolled by a popular vote again.
And the proof of that is the judge's save. They implemented it in the seasons right after.
That's the real-world consequence of his win. That rule change.
So for those of you who might not follow the show that closely, the judge's save is a huge deal. Before, if 2 couples were in the bottom 2, the one with the lower score just went home. End of story.
Right.
But now, with the save, the judges get the final say. They get to pick which of those 2 couples stays, completely overriding the audience vote if they want to.
It is a direct countermeasure. It was explicitly designed to prevent another Bobby Bones scenario. The rule literally exists because of him.
And it wasn't just Bergeron creating this web of criticism. Bones himself called out people I respect, like Tom Bergeron on there and Julianne Hume, as sources of this negativity.
Oh, Julianne Hu. She's the ultimate insider, right? Former pro, former judge, now a co-host. And she has hammered this point home for years. As recently as August 2024, she was on Watch What Happens Live and said she strongly disagreed with the win. Her reason: he was not the best answer.
I mean, when you face that kind of consistent, high-profile invalidation for 7 years, that trophy stops feeling like a prize. It starts feeling like a burden.
Totally. Bones said that the negativity from the show's own people just taken all the joy away from my time on that show.
So he returned it. He framed it with this powerful idea.
Yeah.
Go where you are celebrated, not tolerated.
And that physical act of shipping the Mirrorball back was his rejection of the whole system that turned his biggest achievement into this constant fight.
The ultimate symbolic surrender. But, and this is a huge but, his whole narrative of being the hardworking victim who finally quit a toxic relationship, it gets really complicated by his own admission a year earlier.
Yeah, where he confesses to cheating.
This is such a major twist in the story.
It really is. In September 2024, on the Trading Secrets podcast, Bones just admits that he bent the show's rules by training way more than the 4-hour daily limit.
And he didn't just hint at it. He detailed the quote-unquote crime pretty openly.
He did.
Contestants get 4 hours a day with their pro partner. That's the rule. But Bones admitted he would illegally rent a studio himself after hours to train more.
His logic was that he was so far behind everyone else skill-wise that he had to do it just to keep up.
But his choice of words, that's just so damning.
Oh, absolutely. Using the words cheated and illegally gave all his critics the perfect ammunition. It retroactively validated their entire argument that his win was illegitimate.
Exactly. So when he asks in his 2025 video, like, what did I do? He's totally ignoring the fact that he already gave everyone the answer a year ago.
He's trapped in this paradox. He wants to be the people's champion who beat the system, but he also wants to get legitimate validation from that exact same system.
You can't have both.
You can't. By the very nature of his victory, which invalidated the judges, they can never truly respect him without undermining their own authority. He's craving respect he can never, ever receive.
And that paradox really helps explain why Tom Bergeron's public response to the trophy return was such a masterpiece of damage control.
It was a calculated two-pronged maneuver. You really have to admire the chess game here. This is November 12, 2025.
So first, Bergeron sends a private direct message, a DM, to Bones. That's the personal touch, right? The high road.
Right.
But then, almost immediately, he posts a screenshot of that private message to his public Instagram stories.
It was a private apology that was instantly weaponized for public relations.
So let's break down the message itself, because the structure is everything.
It is. It starts with a personal apology. Bobby, it wasn't my intention to hurt your feelings. He's apologizing for the emotional impact, not the substance of the comment.
And then comes the pivot, the double down. He justifies the ouch comment by reframing it as a systemic critique.
He says, my ouch was based on my honest feeling that your win spoke to a need to address the balance between judge and viewer voting.
So, to be clear, this was not a retraction at all.
Not even close. He's apologizing for how it made Bobby feel, while subtly reaffirming the establishment's view. The ouch was necessary because your win broke the show.
I mean, isn't making a private apology public almost worse than the initial comment?
You could argue that, yeah.
It turns a gesture of reconciliation into social media content. It lets Bergeron control the narrative and look like the gracious professional, all without actually taking back his critique. It's a power move.
It's entirely a power move. It lets him seem empathetic while also defending the show's integrity and validating the very rule change they made because of Bones.
So if we step all the way back, what does this whole saga really mean? The Mirrorball basically became the physical symbol of an unwinnable conflict for him.
I think that's right. And returning the trophy, that was his attempt at a symbolic surrender. It's his final act of rejecting the institution that rejected him first.
It's his way of trying to escape the psychological aftermath of his own victory. He realized he could trade the physical trophy for the right to finally control his own story again.
At the end of the day, the question isn't just whether he was right to quit a toxic relationship. It's whether any reality TV winner who wins purely on popular support can ever truly escape the shadow of institutional invalidation.
Yeah. That tension between what the people want and what the experts say is legitimate, that seems to be the one trophy nobody ever really gets to keep.
You've been listening to Starscope Report, where we uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture.
Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.